up on Zombrex, lock your doors, and hunker down. The dead walk again. Yes, after years of waiting, Dead Rising 2 is upon us like a reanimated corpse munching on a toddler. And although the previews were at times harsh, the final product is one that fans of the franchise are going to flock to and really enjoy. Of course, that means people who were completely turned off by the first game, say with the time quest and so on, aren't going to find redemption with this undead romp. Dead Rising 2 casts you as former motocross star Chuck Green. Chuck was taking part in the zombie-slaying reality show Terror is Reality, but soon finds himself framed for a zombie outbreak that's overrun Fortune City, the show's casino, mall, hotel hybrid home. The military is coming in 3 days, and that means that Chuck only has a handful of hours to clear his name and rescue dozens of survivors stranded in the complex. A big problem I ran into when I was playing the preview builds of Dead Rising 2 was how poorly it ran. However, I'm happy to report that's been cleaned up dramatically in the final version. The frame rate is far from silky smooth and there is some pop in, but I didn't feel like it broke the experience, especially considering the number of zombies the game shoves on the screen. Things could be sharper graphically, but the story of Chuck trying to clear his name and having to give his daughter shots that keep her from turning into a zombie is a cool one. A cool one that suffers from stilted dialogue here and there, but succeeds in the end.
Yeah, this ain't nearly as fun as Border Patrol.
But we got a chance to be real patriots here, Earl.
Of course, you can ignore the story if you want. Dead Rising 2 is packed with multiple endings and quests so that you can try to do every mission on the map or just kill zombies for days and still get a conclusive wrap-up to your game. You carry your progress from one playthrough to another, so you're super strong by the time everything's said and done. As you kill ghouls, beat bad guys, and save civilians, you're earning experience points and leveling up. This grants you new moves, enhances your skills, and earns you more inventory slots. Now if that sounds familiar, that's because it is. At its core, Dead Rising 2 is a lot like the original game. You get missions that are only active for a certain amount of time, your weapons break down after prolonged use, and the psychopaths you're fighting all have that familiar green health bar above their heads. Still, the game manages to do enough stuff differently that it doesn't feel like a letdown when the credits roll. In fact, I had a blast pretty much through the whole thing, and a big part of that was from the brand new combo cards. Throughout your game, you're going to find 50 combo cards that allow you to combine the items you've been using as weapons into super weapons that last longer, do more damage, and earn you more experience. These range from simple things like hammering nails into a baseball bat for a spike club, to combining a 2x4 with a lawnmower for a handheld grind-you-to-nothing device. It sounds goofy, and it is, but it's insanely satisfying. Another new addition this time around is multiplayer, in both competitive and cooperative modes. While you're playing Chuck's story, you can have an online buddy pop in and play as Chuck's clone. There's no explanation in the story, so you're really just identical dudes running around. Competitive multiplayer puts you on the reality show Terror is Reality. You face off against 4 other players in these mini-games where you grind zombies and use their blood to fill containers and spear the undead out of the air. Whatever money you win on this game show carries over to the save slot of your choosing. Both modes are really there just to garnish the story. They're not amazing, but they're not forced on you and just give you perks if you want to play.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Stay classy, America.
Dead Rising 2 has a few tricks up its sleeve and is packed with new quests and bosses, but it is more of what people loved and or hated from the original Dead Rising. I was a fan of that game and I think they made the save system easier to use and escorting survivors a bit more forgiving. But figuring out some of the bosses had me ready to hurl the controller and the game could have looked better. Still, I have no problem recommending Dead Rising 2. Reducing zombies to split-in-half bodies and seeing what effed up bosses around the next corner is definitely worth the price of admission, even with the issues that pop up here and there. For more on Chuck's wild time in Fortune City, check out IGN.com.